that was our goal, to establish, get those paint touches. Anytime you've got Aaliyah Boston, Alyssa Smith down there, they're going to draw attention, and when they get that attention.
How much better is Indiana's defense?
A lot better. I think Coach Christie's probably most proud of that. I think in the second half we were really good. Well, they finished with 75 points. We usually win when we hold teams.
Did the Indiana Fever just make the biggest mistake of the season? They fired Coach Christie Sides right after she took them to the playoffs. But here's the real question. What are they thinking? Is this a genius move we're all missing? Or did they just blow up their shot at a championship?
It's definitely fun for us. It's fun for a lot of fans in the Midwest that, cheered us on when we were in college.
Right there to congratulate me or just be somebody that's offered advice. So to pass somebody like her, I'm just forever thankful that she's been such.
Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to our channel. It makes such a huge difference to us. Thank you so much. Now back to the video. Stick around because we're diving deep into this mess. We've got the inside scoop on why management pulled the trigger. And trust me, it's gonna make you question everything you thought you knew about the WNBA. Plus, we'll break down what this means for Caitlin Clark and the team's future. You don't want to miss this. You know what's crazy? The Fever started this season looking like a complete disaster. We're talking about a team that stumbled out of the gate with a brutal 1-8 record. It was painful to watch. Fans were ready to throw in the towel, and honestly, who could blame them? The schedule was rough, the losses were piling up, and it felt like the same old story for a franchise that's been struggling for years. But then something changed. It's like someone flipped a switch, and suddenly the Fever were a different team. Caitlin Clark and the rest of the squad started clicking in a way nobody saw coming. This rookie phenom was putting up insane numbers: 19.2 points, 8.4 assists, and 5.7 rebounds per game. Clark wasn't just good, she was Rookie of the Year good, and her energy was infectious. Imagine this, the same team that looked like they were headed for another dismal season suddenly caught fire. After that awful start, they went on to win 19 of their last 31 games. That's not just a turnaround, that's a complete 180.
And they're very supportive, and for me, that makes you feel very welcome coming in as a rookie and getting to play with somebody that's been really, really good for this.
Here and give them a taste of it because they deserve it. It's been since 2016, so it's only going to get better and better from here on out.
We're talking about a team that went from being the league's punching bag to a serious threat in a matter of weeks. You won't believe how close they came to a 500 record after that terrible start. They finished the season at 20-20, 20 wins. That's a 7-game improvement from last year when they only managed to scrape together 13 victories. In the WNBA, bouncing back from a 1-8 start to finish 500 is almost unheard of. Teams usually spiral after a start like that, but the Fever, they just kept climbing. The locker room was hyped. For the first time in what felt like forever, players were buzzing about the playoffs. You could feel the energy shift. These weren't just empty hopes. They were backed up by wins on the court.
You can tell they're just there for good basketball. They're almost cheering for both teams, it feels like. They're all standing up there at the end. So it's still a very intense. We've honestly struggled to guard this team, and I think it just speaks to their offensive firepower that they have, like Enrique and Sabali's really good. And then
the team that everyone had written off was suddenly in the conversation for postseason play. And here's the payoff that makes this story even crazier. They actually did it. The Indiana Fever made the playoffs for the first time since 2016. That's 7 long years of watching from the sidelines, and now they're back in the mix. It's huge for the franchise, huge for the fans, and huge for a group of players who've been fighting to prove themselves. But here's where things get weird. You'd think management would be over the moon, right? A team goes from bottom of the barrel to playoff contenders, led by a rookie sensation and a coach who clearly figured something out. That's cause for celebration, isn't it? Well, apparently not. While the players were riding high on their incredible turnaround, something strange was brewing in the front office. Management wasn't popping champagne, they weren't even smiling, and that's when things started to get really interesting. Just when you thought the Fever's Cinderella story was complete, management dropped a bombshell that shocked everyone. Remember how Coach Sides led this team from the basement to the playoffs? Well, guess what? That wasn't enough. The front office had something way bigger in mind, and it's about to turn the WNBA upside down.
I think we've had a lot of great battles, and they've helped us win a lot of games on this floor. So, like I said, hopefully we can bring the playoffs back.
Like I said earlier, resilience. Not every day is going to be perfect. I think we found a way to battle when things don't go our way.
So the team's winning, right? You'd think Coach Sides would be safe after that incredible turnaround. Think again. The Fever's front office just pulled off a move so unexpected, it's got everyone's head spinning. Let's break down what happened behind the scenes, because it's pretty wild. Enter Kelly Krauskopf, the new president of basketball operations. She's not just any executive, she's the one who led the Fever to glory from 2000 to 2018. We're talking multiple playoff appearances and even a championship in 2012. And now she's back talking about being bold and assertive in pursuing the team's goals. It's like she walked in and said, "Nice job with the playoffs, but that's just the appetizer. We want the whole feast." You know what's even crazier? There are whispers about Stephanie White coming back to coach. Remember her? She led the Fever to the WNBA Finals back in 2015 and just won Coach of the Year with the Connecticut Sun.
Knowing that you've had success prior to, against this team in our first 2 matchups with them, I think that just brings you.
Overall, we're moving and we're playing defense as a unit rather than as one-on-one, and that's kind of what we struggled with at the beginning of the year.
It's like the Fever are putting together an all-star team, but in the front office. Now, imagine being Christie Sides. You just had your best season as a coach, turned a struggling team into playoff contenders, and bam, you're out. It's gotta be a punch to the gut. 1 minute, you're celebrating making the playoffs for the first time in 7 years, and the next you're cleaning out your office. That's the kind of move that sends shockwaves through the entire league. The players? They've gotta be in shock. We're talking major locker room drama here. These athletes just went through an incredible journey together, bonding over their underdog story and proving everyone wrong. Now their leader, the coach who believed in them when no one else did, is gone. It's the kind of thing that can mess with team chemistry big time. But here's the real kicker, the payoff that Krauskopf and the front office are betting on. They're not just talking about winning, they're talking about maximizing talent. That's code for one thing, championships or bust.
I think we're used to it. I think if anything, it probably gives them a little fire. It's like, this is our home crowd. This was our last regular season one at home. It's fun. It's on the weekend. It's an afternoon game. Those are just better.
This isn't about steady improvement or building for the future anymore. It's about winning big and winning now. Krauskopf made it crystal clear when she said they're positioning the team for future growth, but let's be real, in WNBA speak, that means they want to dominate. They've got young superstars like Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston, and they're not interested in waiting around for them to develop slowly. The Fever are going all in right now. This move isn't just about changing a coach, it's about changing the entire culture of the franchise. No more baby steps, no more moral victories. The Fever are sending a message to the entire league.
That's confidence too. So I think you're just seeing our confidence grow at a different level than it was at the beginning of the season. I think that's what's been motivating us. We just continue to work and get better and be positive. And that's probably easy with a young group. Obviously we got some young players, but our vets were really good too.
We're not here to participate, we're here to take over. It's a high-risk, high-reward strategy that could either launch them into dynasty territory or blow up in their faces. Either way, one thing's for sure, next season is going to be absolutely wild. So there you have it, the Indiana Fever just flipped the script on everyone. They're not playing around anymore. This move is like throwing all your chips on the table and yelling, all in. It's crazy, it's bold, and it's got the whole league talking. What do you think? Did the Fever just make the smartest move in WNBA history, or are they about to crash and burn? Either way, you can bet next season is gonna be absolutely insane. We've got Caitlin Clark coming off a record-breaking rookie year, a front office hungry for championships, and a team that's suddenly under more pressure than ever. One thing's for sure, the days of the Fever being an easy win are over. Buckle up, WNBA fans. This ride's just getting started.